Sandy?
I'm Coco. 5 minutes again. Third. So now we're in the double overtime.
This is a good subject that we
So you made that one point. We got to
yeah.
jump on that.
The worst is we're staying in the marriage for the kids. You know what? Give them more credit because the kids are going to know. They're going to know it's not right. They're going to feel it. They're going to see it, and it's going to screw the kids up.
My daughter is completely brilliant. My ex and I were struggling at the end of a relationship, and my kids were 8 and 10. And we used to do something every Saturday. It was kind of fun. We'd go someplace. And then one time my ex says, I'm not going. So one week we just didn't go. And then the next week she said, well, we're not going. So I said, fine. I took the kids and we went to the museum or the zoo or something. And of course that was the wrong thing to do because when I was gone, she was just getting more and more angry. So when we got back, she was just furious. And this went on for for a few weeks as this thing was degrading. But I remember one time, and my daughter had figured this out long before we did. My daughter said to me one time, she said, Daddy, and she was talking for her older brother, we like it better when we do something with either you or Mommy, because that way you guys don't fight. Mm-hmm. So the kids get this.
Right. Even if you're not verbally, they feel it.
Yeah, and the problem is you got to be careful because a lot of times the kids blame themselves. They think it's their fault. In fact, if in Illinois, if you want to get a divorce, they make you take a little class, so like a 2 or 3 hour class, where they actually talk to you about the fact that a lot of kids think it's their fault. So you've got to recognize that there's other people involved, and if it gets ugly and weird and you start yelling and screaming, the kids are going to be scared, and they're also going to think it's their fault or whoever's around.
Or they will grow up thinking that's how a normal relationship is. See, for me, I'm sharing way too much of my life, but for me, I left my ex when I was 7.5 months pregnant with our son. And a lot of people actually are surprised when they hear that. I don't tell a lot of people. And for me, it came to the decision of, do I allow my child to grow up thinking this is normal with the fighting or whatever was going on? Or do I take on the challenge of being a single parent and still have him in our son's life, but he's not having to live in a hostile environment or a strained or tense environment? And it kind of was a really easy, no-brainer decision for me. And I don't regret it. Sure, do I go through those moments sometimes of, maybe I should have stuck it out. But then I'm like, no, that wouldn't have been good. And my kid is an amazing kid. He's just an amazing kid. So, yeah, don't stay in the relationship for the kids.
That's always a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a really bad idea.
So let's see. So I've got that covered. Let's see. Then okay. In my case, I remarried soon thereafter divorce, and there was there's issues involved. Once again, that's that relationship subset thing I keep talking about, where you have your stuff and they have their stuff, and then at some point you actually get the chance to see their stuff, and at some point they see your stuff, and it's like, ooh, this is such a good idea, because everybody does a really good job of hiding their stuff behind them, because when you meet somebody new.
And we're not talking squeezing the toothpaste in the middle of the tube. We're talking big issues.
Actually, we're talking about that too, because
who gets upset about squeezing the toothpaste in the middle of the tube? Then you know what? You take your hand at the end of it and you push it forward and move on and let it go.
No, you don't do that. What you do is you have 2 tubes of toothpaste.
Well, that's an option too.
That's even better.
See, for me, that's little stuff that don't sweat the small. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, but the small stuff is the vehicle for the big stuff. The big stuff is those big scary monsters under the bed that nobody wants to look at, and nobody wants, are pretending they're not there. And the tube of toothpaste, the cap off the toothpaste, the squeezing in the middle, the underwear outside of the hamper, all those things. Those are the vehicles used to pry the
That's
demons
the
out from.
excuse to start the fight.
Exactly. And it's not,
I'd rather be having the argument about what's really the issue
Right,
than over a tube of toothpaste or a pair of underwear.
Right, but nobody addresses the monster under the bed
Yeah, I guess
because
not.
they want to avoid that because it's the
Avoidance.
toothpaste. I know you're an expert at it. All right, so I'm Coco.
Sandy.
See you later. Bye.